Welcome to Politics Across the Ages. Today, we will delve into a concept in international relations known as Thucydides Trap. This term, coined by political scientist Graham Allison, describes the historical pattern of conflict that often occurs when a rising power threatens to displace an established one. Named after the ancient Greek historian Thucydides, this concept highlights the dynamics that led to the Peloponnesian War between Athens and Sparta. To understand Thucydides' trap better, we will analyze it through the lens of the Peloponnesian War. Chapter 1: Athenian Rise. After the Persian Wars, Athens emerged as a major power in Greece, leveraging its powerful navy and strategic position. Athens dominated maritime trade and formed the Delian League. Initially, this league was a coalition of Greek city-states united against the Persian threat. However, as Athens grew in strength and influence, the Delian League gradually transformed into an Athenian empire. The Athenians imposed control over other member states, collecting tributes and using their naval supremacy to enforce their will, significantly expanding their power and influence across the region. Athens, however, was not only a military and economic powerhouse, but also a cultural and political beacon. The city-state flourished during this period, becoming a center of art, philosophy, and democracy. Intellectuals like Socrates, Plato, and Sophocles thrived, contributing to a vibrant cultural scene. Politically, Athens championed democracy, influencing political thought and practice far beyond its borders. Chapter 2: Spartan Power. Sparta was the old power of Greece. Renowned for its military prowess, the Spartan army was the backbone of its power. The city-state led the Peloponnesian League, a coalition of Greek city-states that looked to Sparta for military leadership and protection. The Spartan military was feared and respected across Greece, characterized by rigorous training and a society that prioritized martial excellence and discipline above all else. Unlike the dynamic and expansive nature of Athens, Sparta maintained a conservative and oligarchic system. This governance emphasized stability and control over change and expansion. Spartan society was rigid, with strict social structures designed to maintain order and military readiness. The conservatism of Sparta made it inherently resistant to the type of rapid expansion and cultural dynamism seen in Athens, fostering a natural tension between the two city-states. Chapter 3: Athenian Ambition and Spartan Fears. Athens' growing power and ambitions created unease among other Greek city-states. Its control over the Delian League and aggressive expansionism were perceived as threats by Sparta and its allies. The Athenian efforts to consolidate their empire, exert influence, and expand their economic reach alarmed the Peloponnesian League, making conflict seem inevitable. This expansion highlighted the classic Thucydides trap dynamic, a rising power causing fear and insecurity in an established power. Thus, Sparta viewed Athens' rise with increasing alarm. The Athenian naval supremacy and economic strength were seen as direct challenges to Spartan dominance and the stability of the Peloponnesian League. Sparta's fear was not only about losing its leading position, but also about the potential disruption to the Greek world order that Athenian dominance could bring. This fear led to Sparta considering preemptive actions to curb Athenian power, unfortunately setting the stage for inevitable conflict. This was not helped by the culture of misunderstanding and mistrust, where both powers misinterpreted each other's actions and intentions. Athens saw its expansion as natural and justified, while Sparta perceived it as aggressive and destabilizing. This mutual distrust fueled a cycle of escalation. The lack of effective communication and understanding between Athens and Sparta exacerbated the situation, making a peaceful resolution increasingly unlikely. Chapter 4: Escalation towards war. War rarely ever happens spontaneously. There are often many factors that lead to the powers involved in war climbing the ladder of escalation. Athens imposed economic sanctions on Megara, an ally of Sparta, which heightened tensions. This act was seen by Sparta as an overreach of Athenian power and a threat to the Peloponnesian League's interests. The Megarian decree restricted Megara's access to Athenian markets and ports, crippling its economy and illustrating Athens's willingness to use its economic power to dominate other city-states. Athens then allied with Corcyria, modern-day Corfu, which was in conflict with Corinth, a key Spartan ally. This alliance was another provocative move, signaling Athens's willingness to challenge Spartan allies directly. The support for Corcyria against Corinth indicated Athens's strategic aim to weaken Spartan influence and showcased the expanding reach of Athenian power. Athens besieged Potidæa, a Corinthian colony, further escalating the conflict with Sparta's allies. This siege exemplified Athenian assertiveness and willingness to use military force to achieve its goals. The prolonged and brutal siege of Potidæa strained relations and demonstrated Athens's determination to assert its dominance, heightening the sense of an impending large conflict. Sparta, feeling that it had no other choice, issued an ultimatum to Athens, demanding the lifting of the Megarian decree and other concessions. Athens's refusal to comply led to the breakdown of negotiations and eventually a declaration of war. The Spartan ultimatum was a final attempt to avoid war by demanding Athens curb its aggressive policies, but Athens's steadfast response made war inevitable. Now, for this video, we will not be going into the intricacies of the events which took place during the Peloponnesian War. Perhaps we will look into them in a future video. Thus, we move on now to Chapter 5: Consequences and Lessons. The war resulted in immense destruction and loss of life. Athens, once a dominant power, was left weakened and eventually surrendered to Sparta. However, the prolonged conflict also strained Sparta and destabilized Greece as a whole. The devastation wrought by the war had long-term effects on the Greek city-states, weakening their ability to resist future external threats and leading to a period of sustained decline. The Peloponnesian War then exemplifies Thucydides' trap, that inevitable clash between a rising power and an established power is often driven by fear, mistrust, and a competition and rivalry. Thucydides' analysis of the war provides a timeless lesson on the dangers of power transition and the importance of managing such dynamics carefully. The war then serves as a historical warning about the destructive potential of power struggles and the need for diplomatic effort to prevent such similar conflicts. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and found it informative. Until next time, take care, goodbye.